Willie D Live.
Oh, I made a lot of money on Trump. Yeah, because you sat at home and you got stimulus checks and you didn't have to work, right? And your rent was free, so of course, but you got that because he was such an inept leader. Let's not forget that people are dead because some dude went and said, sunshine will kill a virus. That we had a leader that said that shit. So when I hear people say
something also about Clorox
and bleach, right? So let's take a also when this infrastructure bill, manufacturing in the United States, manufacturing construction where there is in America, it has gone up exponentially. You don't have to look at me. Look at the financial projections. This CHIPS program where they're building these batteries. Texas is getting a lot of them. Ohio, Pennsylvania, places that even Ohio, Pennsylvania, the Rust Belt, people where they have to build these factories. Who do you think is going to get those jobs? And he did that, and nobody else was able to accomplish something like that. Everybody talked about an infrastructure bill. He did it. Now, if you're talking to me about how old he is, we can't argue that. But I will say this. I don't care how old a president is because he gets 2 terms. If that same litmus test needs to be applied to the Supreme Court who get to die in office while they fucking shit up. So if we're going to talk about get rid of old people, let's get them if there's going to be an age, date certain where people age out, then don't tell me I'm worried about an old president when you're going to watch Supreme Court judges who are going to make these decisions that are antiquated and not beholden to anybody for the entirety of their life.
Has Biden ever fallen asleep while he was talking to you?
Well, I tell you what, you fell asleep while you was talking to me too. So that's not, I'll fall asleep. You don't want to talk to me because we'll fall asleep during this thing.
Yes, he's falling asleep.
Sure.
So you're talking on the phone with him. You said, Mr.
No,
President.
he's never done. No. No, that was probably me. That's probably me. No, I think when I see the things that are happening, first off, I don't believe that a man who took an oath to the Constitution and violated it in front of our eyes should ever be in that office again. Imagine you get fired from a job, you violently try to take that job back, and then you're the number 1 candidate for that job. Pete Rose can't even get in the Hall of Fame for fucking gambling. You couldn't name me another job you could do what he did. If you did what he did and you were accused of 91 felonies and a rape charge and fraud,
multiple rape charges.
What? You couldn't work at White Castle, damn the White House.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't do what he's doing in any parlance, in any segment of life. You couldn't be a teacher, you couldn't be a police officer, you couldn't be a banker. You could not walk in there with that shit on your resume and keep a job, but you are eligible to be he can't even buy a gun because he has felony charges pending. He can't buy a gun, but he can run for president.
But didn't he just buy a gun? Somebody was saying that he went in to try to buy a gun.
He can't buy a gun.
A Glock.
He said, "Oh, I should get one of these, nigga. You can't. You have 91 felony charges pending. You can't buy a gun."
The dude tried to overthrow the government,
right,
bro.
And then we're still having an argument.
Police officers were killed in the process.
Right.
Like he should have been charged with murder.
I think so. And
a RICO. That's a RICO charge.
Well, he got one in Georgia. And the thing that's interesting to me is we all saw it. Don't talk to me about law and order. You watch or dress codes in the Congress. You watch this man try to overthrow the will of the American people over and over again in several situations. And now he's going to take an oath to defend the Constitution he shit all over? Stop. He stole America's secrets. For what? We know he did it. We see him. Biden's son is a crackhead, but who don't have a crackhead relative they love? Like literally. Literally. Who doesn't, honestly, who doesn't have a crackhead in their family that they love?
You're absolutely right. I know I got a few.
Of course.
I got a few. But I will say it is rather hilarious to know that a sitting president has a crackhead son.
Absolutely.
That is some funny shit
to
me.
It is the best shit. Here's the thing. I think that it's wrong to elevate people to deity status. He's a man doing a job, right? And obviously, I would like people who are younger or more adept. Like I love the governor of California. I love the governor of Michigan. But the way the political structure is set, it's very hard for an incumbent, anybody, to lose. Look at all the senators it's hard to beat. You know how hard it is to beat an incumbent president?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely hard.
So
Yeah.
even if you, it's so hard to do it that it practically never happens. You got to be either George Bush or Donald Trump to lose. You got to be that bad to lose. And so it's interesting to have people have these conversations, and I understand where my convictions lie, and I understand what I believe. And I know I'm a liberal, so of course I'm going to elevate those who I think reflect my ideology. If you are conservative, I expect you to do the same. But there are a group of people who are attacking our history right now. Our right to our right to chart the course of our existence here. They're trying to take it away from us, and using it as a political color. The one thing that on the highest on a lot of people's political agenda is to stop wokeism. Now, I don't understand how not learning about Harriet Tubman is going to put food on your table. I don't understand how eroding black history is going to make gas prices lower or get you a job or stop your schools from being underfunded. But that is what people will do in lieu of good ideas. They will elevate hate and separation and destruction as opposed to doing things that are effective for the populace.
You mentioned Governor Gavin over in California earlier. Do you think that he's doing enough to stop these smash and grabs that's going on all over California?
I think that's a city ordinance thing, and I think that when you look, here's the thing: everybody looks at those smash and grabs, right? More people, more retailers lose merchandise from employees that steal than they do random and just run-of-the-mill shoplifting than they do that. But it has become the symbol of what's wrong in retail. Retail is in a lot of trouble for a lot of reasons. Even before there was smash and grab, you couldn't go to a store and get shampoo without somebody coming and give you the combination to the safe. But it's funny how interesting those people that smash and grab, they sell those things to people. They don't just wear them. They get crowbars, they get clothes, they get purses, and they sell them to people. They just know I'm gonna take these jackets or these purses, drop this off, and it's gonna go to somebody, and they're gonna cut me a check. So yes, that's bad, but find the motherfuckers who are paying them to do it.
Yeah, and the thing is too is that they're doing a lot of robbing and looting, but the biggest robbers and looters are members of Congress and those who work in corporate America and at these banks.
Right.
They are the biggest. While these guys are getting a few $1,000
Right.
when they go do a smash and grab, these guys are smashing and grabbing daily hundreds of millions of dollars from the American people.
And nobody says anything. It's like there should be no excuse why the American people aren't supportive of the labor movement in America. No reason. No reason. You watch it. We see CEOs whose pay goes up exponentially. You don't say shit about that. And then they get the benefit of not paying. None about that. But the dude who's driving the truck, you mad at. The actor who wants, to be treated fairly, you mad at that. The dude who's making the car you driving, you mad at that. There's no reason. The only reason any semblance of the middle class exists in this country is because of unions. Period. Otherwise, your ass would be, it would be kids working in places. It would be dangerous situations far more than they are now. And the one thing I will say, there's a reason why now all these labor movements are demanding and striking. It is because they have seen productivity's gone up, the CEO's pay has gone up, but their wages are stagnant. Man, the UPS drivers, they were fighting to get heat and air in their trucks, man. Come on now. Come on now. So I just think because we're so aspirational, everybody wants to be rich, you will give them more deference than you do the person that drops off your packages or makes your car. But ultimately, all of us want to know that our work is rewarded. And there's a fair sense of compensation and accomplishment. After COVID, one thing sure, people weren't going back to the shitty job. They weren't going to be treated like they were before. And so there's a resurrection. Without a death, there can't be a resurrection. And the mindset of the American labor movement has been resurrected in a different direction.
Yeah. You're from Virginia, right?
I was born in Virginia. I'm from Los Angeles.
But Los Angeles is home for the last, what are you, six decades?
It'd be 6 decades in 4 months, in 8 months.
Yeah. And I'm laughing and joking, but that's an honor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a privilege. It is. Because especially when you consider where we come from.
Yes,
you know,
and what we've seen.
We've seen and what we've done.
Right.
You know, like, I mean.
I don't know what you've done, Willie, but I'm telling you.
I'm just saying, you know, like, well, you've done something.
Yeah, a few things.
You was in the Bloods
I was indeed.
So you did something.
Yeah, I did a few things.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's so funny. We were talking last night in the green room. That's the one thing I despise about what we are now is if we had taken some of the people who have been killed and unfortunately not here, and I'm not just talking about famous rappers or famous people, period. Imagine how different you are than you were then. The old you, the old you would hate the new you. Like I hate who I was.
Yeah.
I hated the way I reasoned. I hated the way I think. I would hate to meet the 25, 30-year-old me. It would be repugnant to me. But imagine you got to have that continual experience where you land here. The shame is once you get past being stupid, it's a whole great life out here. But chances are, because of the environments we find ourselves in, a lot of people don't get to get past. They don't get to grow past stupid.
Yeah, I think maybe you meant to say this, but I think the new me would hate the old me.
Well, yeah, or inverted,
yeah. Because I look back at the old me, and I was like, that guy, I think he can be reached, but if I'm going to reach out, I need to be careful how I reach out to him.
It would have sickened you. It's just the way that you process things, the things you believed, the ideas in your head, and all you did is live and learn. That's all you did. And the shame is that so many of us don't get to.
And imagine if Pac and Biggie were still
imagine
if would they have been Nipsey and I mean so many people.
It's so many and imagine the kids that were cut off before in drive-bys or environmental sicknesses or the fact that young lives are lost in that cauldron of bullshit that we find ourselves living in makes me sad, and I lament the fact. Because when you get to be a certain age and you're a black man, you've beaten the odds.
Yeah.